Lots to cover today. So, welcome, full moon, Sagittarius. So, welcome all to this beautiful full moon. I'm just going to bring up some of my notes that I did. Strawberry moon energy. There we go. Yeah. So, I'm coming in here a wee bit. I guess, well, 9 o'clock. Sometimes I come in at 9, sometimes I come in at 10. Today, today I'm coming in at 9. I've been up since 5:30 this morning, so pretty early. So welcome, Earthshine Art. I love that. So good morning, everybody, and happy birthday. There's a lot of birthdays going out there today. Hi, Kathy. So today there's a lot of little little Gemini birthdays today. So happy birthday to all the Geminis out there right now that are celebrating their birthday. And I have to say, for the Geminis, um, I know the Virgos are going to be this is a year that you guys are going to be going through a lot of shit. Um, sorry, Virgos. But for those having your birthdays right now, this is a lot to do with your solar return. And your solar return is based on where your sun is meeting your sun on the day you were born. And that's sort of another kind of snapshot of the energies that are coming in for you for the next year. And you're coming in to hell bent, crazy year that is going to be bringing you some huge transformation and changes for you to come in and accept. Not, I mean, and that's for my little Geminis. I was thinking, if for those who are celebrating their birthday today, and or even all this week, I'm just like, wow, there is so much. Um, like this is like one of the top weeks of transformation and change and energetically, um for the for the year. This is a week that is bringing us and forcing us to look at the world. We are seeing, it's not only LA that has riots. I mean, they even had a curfew in the downtown LA, and I just, I have some insight on that, on what that is causing in the movement and that. But it's not only there. We have some other major cities that are having uprises, like Chicago, New York, and we're going to start seeing them pop up. And it's quite interesting how they sort of seem spontaneous. Yes and no. And also within Northern Ireland, we're going to be seeing things happening in other countries as well, as Greece and other places are going to be uprising and of being tired of feeling the persecution that is going on in their life and going on in the world around us. So there is going to be a lot of that sentiment that is rising up, and that's exactly where the energies are within the astrology. You know, we are on this powerful transformational energy and change that is happening, and within this lunation frequency that's going on at this time. This is about pivoting and learning how to pivot. Now, I talked about this before, about pivoting and doing that, but this is bigger than that. I don't know. This is where we are coming into the first quarter square, a phase from April 8th, solar eclipse, and its first real activation um, of this outer planet transit post uh, from Trump's assassination. This first square of Mars and Uranus, this is a volatile action sparking aspect that's coming in. We got the Jupiter is squaring, you know, Saturn and Neptune. This is massive feelings and emotions that are coming out. And this is where we are, coming in to act um, of something that's been built up for a long time. And where Jupiter has, or, where Mars has gone through Also, it's gone through Taurus, it's gone through Gemini, and, this is where it's went into Gemini, then Cancer, then Leo, and it retrograded and Leo went back, very slow moving, and now it's activating as it's coming near the end of Leo, that it's like, boom, I'm out of all of this slowness, I'm out of all of this. And Leo is one of those war activated energies. It is one of those energies. It is fire, it is passion, but it's also a fixed fire. So this is where the fire is being pushed to the extremities, where it's being pushed out. And we have Jupiter entering into Cancer, where it loves Cancer. Now, the Sun has not met with Jupiter for over a year. So it's feeling kind of uh, with this energy as well, because usually you have a Jupiter Sun conjunction in some way, but we haven't had that at all. So this is where um, the feeling of deflation is there, but Jupiter has gone into a place where it's exalted. It feels great because the moon changes every um, 2.5 days. So it's I feel like Jupiter for the next year is going to be what we're going to call a bipolar planet. So here we got this big planet that's like, whoa, I feel this. Oh, I feel this. Oh, I feel this. And this is, because it can expand and extract all of this energy coming in and coming out. And that's that Jupiter energy. And it can be feeling really overwhelming at times. And so we have this overwhelmness that is coming in with us, and with those squares with Neptune and Saturn, it is, and the moon is highlighting it, and it's in Sagittarius, and this is where things are feeling a little bit like, okay, which way are we going? And Jupiter is, when it comes to the energies where the North Node is, it is one of the rulers of Pisces. It's one of the co-rulers. And then you have um Mercury is in Cancer as well, and Mercury dispositus where the South Node is in Virgo. And that's why I say for a lot of Virgos, because the South Node being there is a time of really coming into and standing up to what you are wanting to do. And if you are feeling like you are being pulled into the same circus over and over and over again, this is where an activation is coming in to get you to say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm reevaluating what it is that I want to do. And that's the same way with a lot of the Geminis that are going to be the things that are going to be going through with Geminis this year, because of all the transits that are going through and happening in around Gemini season. So we have these pivotal energies that are coming in and and it's a loop. There's a loop that's coming in too, where I said, you know, uh, Mars is squaring over to Uranus, which is the echoes very much of where it was in July of last year, where the assassination attempt happened and kind of really shocked the world. And so this is a first quarter tension point. It's a crisis point. It is an activation point of what is going to happen. Now we are seeing um, everything feeling like it's volatile and out of control. But is it out of control? That's the thing. It looks like it's out of control, but there's a lot of premeditation in what is going on and what is happening at this time. You think that people are more on the opposition when they are more aligned than what you see in front of you. We are now, especially with Jupiter and that, arriving at a Leo energy with Mars, not Jupiter. Sorry, I keep on going back to Jupiter, but with Mars, a sign of sovereignty, of visibility, creative leadership. Mars here demands courage, but squaring over to Uranus, it triggers unexpected revolution, rebellion, and literal explosions. So as we are seeing in the world, like the riots and AI military advancements surfacing, and especially around the G7 summit that is happening at this time. Whew, we got to take some big breaths. We got to take some big breaths, and we have this, Jupiter in Cancer, and it's not soft. It wants safety, belonging, and homeland, but it's facing off with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and which is about individuals' will and intentions and redefinition of self or state. And this is an area where it doesn't give a damn. It's Aries, right? Mars rules Aries, right? And with Neptune and Saturn in there, there's like, I really don't care what you guys were believing before. I really don't care what you are doing at this time. We are redefining it. We are redefining our connection with God. We are redefining our connection with this world and how we are wanting to live in it. Now, if we are wanting to live in it in the same old pile of shit that we've always been living in, it ain't going to work, right? If we're still defining ourselves with pronouns, then it ain't going to work, because this is coming in to say, no, I don't need that. I don't need that crap. I'm not listening to that crap anymore. I'm listening to my divine and my spiritual energies to go forward. This is a forced pivot. It's a spiritual checkpoint. This is a breaking open of a karmic shell, stepping out and not still continuing in the same old rhetoric and the same old blame, and going into the same blame and shame and saying, well, it's because of this. That's why that's not working. It's not going to work anymore. That's not going to jive anymore. We've talked about this for a long time, but we are seeing that no, we are pivoting. We are moving into a new direction. And there is where you are forced to leave your comfort behind. We are forced to be in uncomfortable positions. Now, many of you are sitting in your homes and you're looking around in your beautiful homes and you're like, you might be, oh, well, what do you mean? There is no riot in my town. There is no, craziness that's happening. My life is okay. My life is good, but you're going to start feeling it. It's going to be explosive. You're going to start seeing it in different ways, and it's going to pop up in many different ways. It's where you think people are on oppositions, like especially when it comes to the politics, and you're thinking that, well, these guys aren't in alignment, but this is where I keep telling people, you especially here in Canada, it's like, I'm pro Pierre. I'm just like, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to have change, but this is where would it really be it'll be change, but change in maybe a different outfit, put it that way. So, and putting things in a different coding kind of thing. So the real change comes when the real eruptions happen. And maybe it is where there's a reformation of a government, or a new government, or a new party that really arises in some way, some format. This is where it comes to technology and finances. Uranus in Taurus ending its run, hitting at, AI, banking shifts, digital currency, all of that's going to be coming up and into a head over the next, 3 weeks before he goes in. And then we'll have in July, I'm already in July, Saturn and Uranus are going to be retrograding, and nothing's going to move. Everything's going to be at a standstill. Everything's going to be feeling like the burning dumpster fire that can't go out. So this is where spiritual and emotional alignments are so important. This is one of the reasons why the Sacred Summer Series. So if you are doing the Sacred Summer Series, I'm hoping you're doing the workbook and going through the workbook. I hope you are answering the questions and doing that. But it is self-directed. You got to do it, in your own way. But if you are wanting to join in this sacred journey, definitely get a hold of me, because you could still join. It's self-directed. You're never late to the party, put it that way. So you can come in and join. You can want to do it just for June, it's $50. For all 3 months, it's 100. So you could come in and join. The other thing, and I'm going to push promote this and start promoting this, you're gonna start hearing me, is that I have a menopausal series. It's an 8-week series that I'm putting together for September. And it is another one. You're going to get a booklet and everything to go with it. And it is another one that is self-directed, that is going to be helping to guide us on our not on our hormonal, our mental, the things that are going on within our brain and within our body, and understanding that biological changes that are happening within us, and also the spiritual and astrology that aligns with all of these changes as well. When these different alignments that happen in your chart, these things happen in your body. So as above, so below. That how the alignment of the stars and the planets really align to the chemistry of our own body and the things that go on within our own cells. It's quite amazing. So doing that series, and it is going to be for 8 weeks, and it is gonna be $200. So if you're wanting to join me for that, I'm quite excited for that. So you're gonna hear more about that. I'm gonna talk about that. We are coming into this preparedness. We're feeling like we are on a cliff, as Uranus is going to be coming down the mountain and going into air. And this is where Uranus moving into Gemini cracks open. Shit starts to happen. You're going to find information wars, AI revolution. This is where radical shifts in media, education, communication, and infrastructures really start to open up, explode, right? And there's a mental overload, and that their fractured minds are awakened. iPhone just came out with the new iPhone 20. They just skipped right to 20. And it is sort of like a plexiglass. It's the iPhone 20, how it's going to um, have all the connections, more so, and make your tablet a computer, right? This is where, from your MacBook or your Mac Pro or whatever it is that you have, to even try bringing in an integration into the PC. Just totally something that is going to be totally different. And all of these different upgrades that are going to be happening along with the craziness that is going on. So with this beautiful energy of this full moon, this is our acting of the warrior. This is acting of the fire, and bringing that activation of fire within us. And it's going to push us, and make us pivot in new ways. It's going to have us demanding and taking a look at how courageous can you be in your life. If you're still in a situation you don't like, you're in a relationship you don't like, but you're still staying there for whatever reason, this is going to be a push. This is, Jupiter coming in to this Cancer energy. This is where it's like, truth is, when it comes around family and home, and taking those chances, and coming together. You may not have all the answers, but it's you taking those chances to come together with it all. This is a time where, if you are wanting to have children, right, or you're questioning that of wanting to have children, you got to come in and ask yourself why. If you're thinking that there's going to be a better time, or there's too much chaos in the world, there's never a good time to have children. Ask anybody who has children. There's not one period, "Oh, this looks like the perfect time to have a child," because something always happens. There's always craziness that always arises when you have kids, and a baby comes in. So there's never a perfect time. They come when they need to come. If you've gone through everything to have children, you gotta then come into a place too of like, do I love that person? Does that person love me? Is this really the alignment that I want? That's a harsh question. That's, something to really look at within yourself. There's also, that goes down to karmic ties. What are the karmic ties about you, of having children? I've talked and I've done many readings for women and who've wanted children, and I'm just like, no, I don't see children in your chart. I'm not saying you can't have the children. You could force the issue, but then what I've seen when the issue has been forced to have the children, that what happens later on with the relationship between them and the child, right? Or them as they become an adult, and it gets very estranged and very crazy, right? Um, to thinking that that love of that child is going to be what I really need in my life, that's going to nourish me. That's the same with a relationship. If you're wanting to bring in a relationship right now and you are not addressing the truth of who you are, you're not addressing the hurt and the pain that you've gone through, or that you're trying to spiritually bypass, it's going to show up within that relationship if you're not being honest with yourself and the person around you. And that's going to be extremely difficult. You're going to get yourself into a difficult situation. So these times are very, extremely volatile. Things that, a little bit on what's happening in the States, it's very, I mean, they're in alignment of the Civil War and the things that have happened pre-Civil War. And you gotta think of, like, what does a sovereign city, what does that mean? When I first thing I think of, even when, I heard New York, I didn't realize LA was a sovereign, but I think that's the right name for it. It's not sovereign, it's a sanctuary, sorry, a sanctuary city. So the first thing I think of as a sanctuary city, I thought of that when you're in a sanctuary, when you're going in for to be in a sanctuary, like you go into a church, you can't leave it, right? You're in there. It's like a prison in a way. So if you're coming in to ask for sanctuary, so in back in the day, in the medieval times and even before, people would run into the church and say, I'm coming in for sanctuary. So they would take people in, right? But they couldn't leave. That's a prison. So all of these big sanctuary cities are like a prison. Think about it. So I'm thinking, okay, because they can't really leave, they're illegal. It's that not something, other states won't allow them in or things like that. So, it is that of a prison. So we have all of these prisons that have set up. And very similar to how they treated the slaves, right? And bringing the slaves over, they brought the slaves over, which over to the United States to work and everything else. And a lot of things that, when you're looking at, if you look into the history of the Civil War. Now, when Lincoln was trying to negotiate, he basically gave them everything. He gave the South. They said, "Okay, all right, we want to get along, but you know what? You guys can have your slaves, you can have that, but going forward, no new states can have slaves. That's it." And they said, "No." It's like they were given everything that they were asked for, but they didn't want it, right? So it's basically things are being given to people right now that they don't want. If you're illegal in the United States and you are being given a chance to go and get a free ticket and $1,000 US to go back to your country and apply legally, and you are going to be given first priority. But a lot of them aren't doing that. I mean, so then that there's something else going on. And then you have the people who are rioting or who are doing it, they aren't really you know for that of what they're writing, or they're trying to make it the BLM. That it's not going to be the BLM. It's not. They're not going to get what they thought they got the last time. This is not going to be the way that it was the last time. It's going to be totally different. This is when you see and when you see something burning, like a big something big burning down in the States. And it's probably gonna be something like a federal building or something. Like, when you see that building burn, this is where you're gonna start seeing, okay, shit's kicking off. things are gonna start getting crazy. But the other thing too is that they, along with the Democrats, and as much as Gavin Newsom is saying whatever he is, California has been a military state. It has been, it always has been. I mean, it has some of the big military bases and things that go on there that don't happen. People think it's Texas. Texas are the rebellion, right? California has been the patriotic, very, American military state. And, this is where you're going to see, um, where was I going? Where you're going to see some activations that are going to be happening there, where I got like they're working together. But there's so many other things that are going on in the world right now that the states needs to look at, okay, we're going to make get this under control. And some of the things that will happen, you want to keep these illegals in, well, we're going to put them in the army. That's what the states does. They did that in Vietnam, right? That's how my husband got into Vietnam. My husband was on a scholarship to New Jersey Tech, and you want to have American citizenship, you want to stay here longer, and you're a young boy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, let's go into the army. And that's how they brought you into the army. So here you go. Their hope is that you don't come back. Basically, you don't come back, so we don't have to worry about you. And bring you in. Your young fighting age. Um, They want people who have high anxiety. CIA love people who have high anxiety because you are totally aware. You are just always, aware what's going on, what's happening, kind of energy. And so this is where you're going to find that this type of energy of of craziness is really going to heighten. Why do you think Carney decided this year that we are going to do our 2% to NATO? We're going to spend money on the military. Yeah, there's a reason why he's doing that. Think about it. It's not, it's like, oh yeah, finally. Yeah, we're going to increase. What do we have? 4 subs, 1 works. We have some icebreakers, they work. United States doesn't have any. But this is where you're going to find a huge building back up of ships, of things to go into the ocean, of that type of military that's going to be happening, because you're going to find there's not going to be too many planes flying, right? The only thing that's going to probably fly are probably going to be drones, and having the drones come in and stuff, so, and having that go. I think I need a haircut again. It's gotten shaggy, but that's okay. So the play out of all of this and the extremeness of all of this and the feeling of all of this is what you're going to feel. Totally exhausted the past couple days. Yeah, you will, Lisa. Yeah, but it's hate to say, it's just going to increase. I think you're one of, yeah, you're a Gemini. Like, um I for my Gemini people, I would say you guys need to get a solar return reading, and to take a look at your solar return reading, because there's a lot happening in your chart and a lot happening that's coming up, because the activations that are going on not only in your chart, but it's in what's transiting right now, and how that's activating, and it's going to be activating throughout the year for you, right? And looking at how that is activating and how you are able to work with those activations. This moon is intense. The moon's low. It's the lowest it's ever been, right? And so it's very low. So being low, it feels very, you know, it's kind of like level with the earth, kind of feeling like it's there. And being, I feel like it's like kind of like sucking that energy out of you. And so you feel like you're dragging your feet. Yeah, very just heavy. And within that heaviness, definitely. And it this whole week is that heaviness. It's that transformation. But there is a part of this, wanting to get you to push, like you're dragging and you're going through all this but it's like opening the doors and saying, I still have to open the door. I still have to move because of the activations that are happening. You want slowness. July is going to be slow. And then you have Mercury going retrograde in Leo. Whoa. That's just going to make things like hell. A Mercury retrograde in Leo. It's just going to be like, what do you mean? I want to enjoy the summer. I want to get out and be active, but you feel like it's just too much. Doing the gardening is overwhelming. All of these little tasks that you normally do might feel a little bit too much. So you're going to feel that heaviness. Sorry. Even more as we go on through the summer. And then mid-August, that's when fuck hits. That's total chaos. That's total chaos by the middle of August. So things really get kicking off and we're in full-blown chaos and stuff. The thing is, going back to the immigration, neither team wants it, right? Gonna need some help. Yes, yes. Neither team wants any of this, right? But it's part of what needs to happen. It's part of the play um, that's going on, and it's it's in doing that, in the activation and bringing in the change that needs to happen. The other thing in LA, you got to realize in 2028, I believe the Olympics are coming. They don't want immigrants there. They don't want illegals there. They could say, "Oh, we own LA." I saw this. This girl, she had this helmet on, goggles on. She had, I don't know, it looked like something from a bat catcher, screaming about, her rights. And this is like, this is Mexico. LA is Mexico. I'm just like, oh my God. Mexico hasn't even been Mexico for as long as what California has been California. But anyways, you're seeing that craziness because there's going to be a whole new rebuild when it comes to LA, when it comes to new structures coming in and bringing that all in. They've already done a lot of changes um, along the highway and changes along the highways and stuff to move a lot of either homelessness, not having a lot of stores or strip malls close to the airport and everything in LAX. So a lot of changes in along LAX and stuff and going to the airport. And you're going to find that with a lot of airports is that they're not, I mean, they've done it like Calgary's a big airport and they have built up a lot around there. There may be changes that they're either going to stop a lot of those builds or something. Because they don't want to have a lot of built up infrastructure around big major airports, especially as we are going to go forward, So, yeah, so we're bringing in a lot of activation when it comes to this moon, a lot of craziness that is unfolding. And being a fire moon, being a strawberry moon, yeah. I found my witchy Herbie tarot cards. But I just noise. Yeah, it's going to get loud. I mean, already said this year it's going to be a year of loudness. You have to be loud. You can't, if you're going to be sitting and being meek and mild, it's not, yeah, no. I mean, and if they're thinking that they're going to make these like the George Floyd kind of thing, BLM, no, that's not even going to fly. This is where, yeah, military's coming in, moving the people from, the curfews already happened in downtown, not, but people are going to move to a different area and start doing shit over there. So So a lot of crazy activations and stuff that are going on. But it is where, especially with this Neptune, and you can still get the Sacred Fire workbook if you want to work, because this transit with Neptune and Saturn is there for a year. I'm gonna I still want to host a workshop on that. Um and do a workshop on that, because that activation hasn't happened for 6,500 years. That's an activation that is very powerful, and part of our spiritual transformation, and writing our new spiritual connection, and allowing our newness to come in with God, and knowing that we are these divine light workers that have come upon this earth to be that activation with it all, and to stand up with it, and to be able to use our voice within this activation. It's very important for this. So there we go. Put that out there. That's going to work better. Or do I need it? Oh, you're charged. Hang on. I'm going to take you off. Bring you on. There we go. Bring back the brightness. Bring back the brightness. There we go. I'm going to pull a few cards. So I have a couple people here. I have a few people here. I have some time this morning before I get to go out on some errands with my daughter. Okay. So what do we have here? The Five of Cups. Five of Cups is just as good as the Four of Cups, right? So yeah, plus I love this one. See the little I lost the booklet for this, so a lot of the herbs and stuff that are drawn in here, they look like raspberries, so transformation. But it's like she could grab the basket. There's a basket there. She could grab this basket and go. There's a bunny there. The bunny's renewal, bringing in this renewal. There's a path there. Can't really see. It's kind of foggy, you know? It's a little bit foggy, and having that fogginess. But all she can see are the cups that have been being poured out. And that's a lot of what we're doing, right? Just like the smoke. Exactly. Right? You got that sort of foggy smokiness there. But the basket's there. Grab the basket. Let's go. Let's go out into there. We don't know. There's a lot of muck and gunk that is out there, but we have to forge through it. We have to move through it. And in order to move through it, we have to allow ourselves to align with it. And with that, you don't have to do it alone. The Ten of Wands comes in. You see the little squirrel there. I love these because they have the cute little animals. But there's a little squirrel, little red squirrel there. And the red squirrel, you got to think, what do squirrels do? They put things away. So it's like, okay, yeah, we want you to start doing this, and start putting things away. Start, storing what you need to store. But you don't have to do it all on your own, right? You're going up this. I mean, she's having a bad time there. I mean, she's all dressed in black. She looks like she's, just about had it. And she's trying to get up the mountain there to get to that sacred place. Like, she's trying to get to the sacredness. She wants to get to that sacred place, but you feel you have to struggle to get to the sacred. I have to pour out my soul to get to the sacred, right? I got to go through all of this tragedy, and it's self-inflicted tragedy that we put upon our own selves, right? Not saying there's not struggle in the world. There's definite struggle in the world. But if we are taking everything from our past, it's like, for instance, and I reposted this and I love what he said. And he was talking very much like Byron Katie. I was listening to him like, God, this is like going through Byron Katie again, where you're angry. I'm angry. I'm angry about, I'm frustrated because I had a bad childhood, but I'm angry at my mommy and my daddy. And they were bad. And I carry that anger and that hurt. That anger is basically a defense mechanism, right? Because you're not allowing yourself to go to the hurt. You're not allowing yourself to go to the pain. If you're not allowing, that's self-inflicted. Now, he said in a very nicer way than I do. But this is where that anger, that frustration leads to anger, that leads to a wall in front of ourselves. It's self-inflicted. Pouring out everything, going, oh, boo-hoo, and not looking at something that is new is very self-inflicted. Same with her. I'm going to sacrifice myself in order to get there and get to the light. Why? Are we asking for help? I get shit upon because I ask for help by people. They get angry at me. I'm like, why? I need help. I'll ask for help. And it's because stepping into that humility allows me to open up and allows others to help me. It's it's one of those things. Would you rather sit there and stew? And people are, well, it's pride. No, that's not pride, that's stupidity. Watching your what not accepting something is that somebody wants to help you. They're not trying to hold anything above you, but they want to help you, right? Is a beautiful thing. And many times in my life I've had to reach out and ask for help. I just, and that's why I have buy me a coffee, because this is my work. I've thrown everything into this work now. Like I'm at a point in my life, and this isn't um to be a victim or anything like that, but I'm at a point in my life where for me to go back to the work that I used to do, like my muggle jobs have always been retail. Always. I've always worked in retail. That's my retail experience, management. That's what I've always done. To go back to that, my body can't do it. My body can't stand. I cannot lift over 10 pounds right now at all. It is very difficult for me to lift over 10 pounds because of my right side. It's just what is. Am I trying to strengthen it? Am I doing all of that? Yeah, I am. Uh, wanting, I got my little referral thingy here, going back to the doctor, but of course there are steps before I can actually use the referral. So doing all those steps. But that's where it's like, I feel this is where opening yourself up. This is where spirit is saying you got to open yourself up and trust. Don't put everything that I had in the past, because then I'm going to blame it. That's why it's not working. That's a mental thing. Like, I have to struggle in order for me to have that success. I have to do this in order to have that. No, I don't. Because you got the skills, man. You got the skills. Look at that. You got the skills. You have the healing. You have that power. It's there. It's trusting in those skills. It's trusting in that power. Sometimes it's really difficult to trust in your power and trust in it. Right now, it's like, hey, I'm doing all of these workshops. I'm pouring myself into it, and I want to expand it. I want to get it out there. Well, there's things and stuff I have to do in order to expand it, to move beyond that wall, to move beyond that structure. That's the same thing in your life. What is that structure that's in front of you that you're afraid to move beyond? Maybe you're in a position or in a job or you're in a relationship that doesn't work for you anymore. That you have to look at it and say, this isn't working for me anymore. Or I'm in a place where this isn't good for me anymore. What is it that I need to do? How do I pivot out of this? That's powerful. That's a cosmic power there. It's the Titanic. Are you gonna hit? It's the Titanic. It's like, could they have pivoted a little bit? Maybe they could have. Maybe they should have paid more attention, right? So pivoting is so important. Making those changes is so important, right? It's like right now, it's like a lot of people have given me, here's the other thing, a scenario in my life. A lot of people have given me great mechanics names. Absolutely fabulous. I have a list of great mechanics, but I can't afford them, right? I don't have the extra money to get the brakes done, right? I got a free vehicle. Absolutely great. I got a free vehicle. That's wonderful, right? And I'm blessed to have it. It actually doesn't even look bad. It has rust. Yes, Louise has rust. That's what I named her. But she needs new shoes. She needs new brakes. That costs money. It costs money to take it in. I got to raise the money. I got to do these things in order to raise it. And everybody's in some sort of situation, but it's opening up and allowing people to know about it, and maybe there's somebody out there that can help you. Maybe there's somebody out there that can pivot, help you to pivot and opening that door for you and stepping into that next, realm for you. That's what this moon is about. It's about that opening, but it's scary because we're in a world that is unhinged. We're in a world that is fucking collapsing before our very eyes. Think about it. The way it's running now is not going to be the way it's going to run in 5 years from now. How that's going to look, that's part of our restructuring. That's part of our spiritual alignment. That's part of how we're writing it and bringing that forth. Do you think in 5 years there's going to be a whole month for Pride? Probably not. Are you going to have all of these he, they, them, it? No, probably not. Not with this Aries energy, with Neptune there and Saturn there. And Saturn's going to be there for 2 years. So it's going to be saying, fuck no. This is the way we do it. It's not going to be Pisces, Airy Fairy, Neptune, the illusions. Here we go. It's like there is no mercy when Neptune is in Aries. No mercy. And with Saturn there, it's no mercy because we're going to restructure. How do you want to restructure? And it comes with your restructuring of your spiritual self. You can watch the chaos. You know the fucking chaos is happening. You know shit is hitting the fan. You know deals are being made at that G7 summit that we won't know about. It's behind the wall. But we know what's going on within our own selves. How are we restructuring? Know your natal chart. Understand that. That's a hard one for some people. That's why I'm here. Take some of my workshops, help to guide you, right? Some people say, well, I don't have money for it. Do a payment plan. You want to do the whole month? It's $100 and you only can pay me $10 a week. Let's go for it. Okay? It's open there. You want a solar return reading? Yeah, my readings are $200. Do you want to make a deal with me? Fine. Make a deal with me. That's stepping out of your boundaries. That's asking, right? But a lot of times, ooh, I can't ask. You don't ask. If you don't ask, you can't get. If you want to sit there and continue to struggle, you can sit there and struggle. It is up to you. Same with me. I can sit there and struggle, or I can open myself up. My sister-in-law is taking my husband out shopping today because we need food. What a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing that is. What a blessing. Right? Did my husband say fuck no? No. Him I let them go by themselves because it's quite hilarious watching the two of them together because they're so much alike. It's funny. He's Scorpio, she's Sag. Yeah. Steve's on the 20th of November. And she's no, is she Capricorn? I think she's No, she's Sagittarius. Yeah, because she's before Christmas. So anyways, the two of them together, they're just hilarious. They're together. But anyways, I'd rather them do it together. But that's what she's doing today. What a blessing that is, right? That's opening yourself up for the blessings to come and then saying yes, allowing yourself to say yes. right? Not sure which way it's going to go, but it's the divine will. It's the divine planning. And that's why everything that's going on and everything that is crumbling, we have right now in Calgary, the gas and oil summit, right? So all of the big guys for gas and oil are here this week, along with the G7 summit. Interesting. Hmm, interesting. So this is huge. We have this huge summit that's going on. Then we have another G7 summit going on. And we have right now in Calgary, we have some of the top guys for gas and oil doing big deals right now. And they're creating the prosperity, they're creating that abundance, they're allowing things to open, they're allowing things, but it's that shaking and a moving and doing it. Final card. I didn't stack the deck. I didn't. We got the Ace of Pentacles. Look at that. Look at that. The Ace of Pentacles. Oh, it's there for you. We just have to walk through it. And we're not saying you have to walk through it alone. You don't have to walk through it alone. That's what this is, walking through it alone. You don't. Calling God, calling that divine, that goddess energy, call it in. Then open it up. Let people know. I remember one time we lost the furnace went. It was the cold. Of course, your furnace always goes on the coldest day. Never goes in the summertime. It goes on the coldest day. It was one of the coldest days. And I was just like, holy shit, the furnace. And I think Mateus was just a baby. And we couldn't get a hold of the landlord, of course. And I said, hey, if anybody has any extra blankets or something like that. And I had somebody, hardly even knew her. And she came knocking at my door. She goes, here's hot water bottles. Here's two electric blankets. Anything else you need to keep your family warm. I was like, wow. This little angel came and knocked on my door, and she goes, "Here you go. Have a blessed one." She even brought me a Starbucks, um, and then left. I was like, I didn't even have really a chance to really come on in. What can I get? No, here you go. And yeah, just a blessing. Blessings show up. Little angels show up in so many ways. It's just letting people know, right? Letting people know, what what you are struggling with or what you need. Don't be embarrassed, right? That's the devil. Honestly, that's the devil. Making you feel low, making you feel, ooh, I can't let anybody know. Ooh, that's bad. No, I'm going through if you're going through I'm going through some mental anguish right now. Things feel really fucked up. Can somebody pray for me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you need a prayer chain? Found a dime in my coffee cup this morning. Oh, angels are with you. Beautiful. Love it. Someone's watching over you. Someone's blessing you. See? They're there. Ask, right? If you need something, ask. Like, you know, do you need a prayer chain? Do you need extra prayers? Do you need, whatever it is, right? So, bringing out those blessings is important. So, my loves, I'm going to send you guys out with so much love. It is a beautiful day. Well, beautiful day within. Outside, it's very smoky. It looks cloudy, but it's very heavy smoke outside. Um, but I'm going to send you guys out with so much love. Honestly, if you're wanting Sacred Summer Series, let me know. My menopausal wisdom workshop is going to be starting in September. It's 8 weeks. Or if you want your solar return reading done, it's different than a moon reading, just an FYI. Moon readings are still available if you want them, but solar return reading is an actual full reading. We look at your chart, we look at the transits where they are on that the day when your sun conjuncts, and take that little snapshot to see what's unfolding for you over this next year. So, blessed be everybody. Bye bye. I love you all. Thank you for being a part of my world. Bye bye.